And finally, my biggest ever fail. This cost us $10,000. Yes, you heard me right. This failure cost $10,000. I have been working in various businesses since I was a teenager, eBay mostly. But if we start at the age of 18, between now and then, that's 8 years. And I have tried quite a few different businesses in those 8 years, online and offline. Some have been quite successful, but others have failed. And in this video, I want to tell you about all the businesses that have failed and what I learned from them. Maybe in a part 2, I could tell you all the businesses that were successful and what I learned from them. But for now, we're just going to be talking about the failed businesses because I feel like you learn a lot more from, failing and then learning and adapting than you do from succeeding. So let's have a look. So this video isn't going to be a breakdown of every single business that I've done. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to do a breakdown of the businesses that failed. And of course, there are some successful businesses that I have done where elements of them have failed, and that's what I'll talk about. I'll just talk about the element that failed, in the wider business. So the first one, the first thing I wanted to do from the age of 18, and I was thinking about this throughout high school, was start an app empire. So creating apps for the iPhone and potentially Android. And I was just really, really keen on doing this. And straight out of school, I started reading books and all this kind of stuff. And I read one particular book from someone called Chad Moretta called App Empire. And that really, got me going. That just got me really, really excited to create this app empire. Now, at the time, I couldn't code. I couldn't do any of that. But this person, soon to be the first internet guru that I ever met, online, he said you didn't need to, be able to code or do anything like that. You can still have a whole app business, a whole app empire, and not have any coding knowledge. And that's kind of like what I liked. Except it was a lot harder than he was letting off. And this was my first taste of failure. And the most annoying thing was, this failure was due to me giving up rather than, actually making an app and failing. And that's because the actual act of making an app was really difficult. Even though he said it was so easy, it was really difficult. But I did learn a valuable lesson. I learned that even though someone might portray something as being super easy, nothing is going to be easy, especially when it's got such a large impact and it can make so much money. It's going to be hard. And I also, first learn about online teachers and them trying to sell you their books and their courses and all the upsells and all the downsells. Like, this was my first taste of that, which was very important for everything else that was to come. I still do have a desire to build apps and do something like that, but I've decided the next time I do that, it's going to be with a coder and a graphic designer, and it'll be a team of 3 people, and we will be able to make apps together down the line, when I can afford it. I don't want to think, because I failed the first time, I'm never going to do it again. I still have many plans and many app ideas that I want to try out. The next was print on demand. And even though print on demand didn't fail as a whole, right? As a whole, the business was quite successful. There were still hundreds of t-shirts that completely flopped. One sale or no sales at all. And this taught me something. This taught me that even though someone shows interest in a design on a t-shirt, it's very different to them actually wanting to buy it. So I used to do a lot of Facebook ads back in the day when it was cheaper, and the t-shirts got so much interest, and I thought, why is no one buying it? And that's because it's much easier for someone to comment and like and share a post than to part with $20 and actually wear that t-shirt, right? And that was really important to know, because once I knew that, once I could figure that out, I was able to fine tune and just sell what people wanted to wear rather than what people wanted to see. During that print on demand business, I also created my first Shopify store. And yes, this was also hugely successful. However, a huge element failed, and that element was being able to scale at the right time and the right moment. So I was selling one product in particular, and I was using Facebook ads to sell that product, and that product was getting so many sales, but I was sourcing it from eBay. I wasn't sourcing it from a dropshipper or from China or anything like that. I was just sourcing it from eBay. So even though my profit margin was good, it wasn't scalable at all, and I didn't do the relevant research or anything like that to really learn how to scale it, to the point where it kind of fizzled out. And I just thought, well, this product stopped getting sales now, it's a failure. Rather, it wasn't actually a failure if I would have just put in a bit of effort and planned what to do and when to do it. So like the first business, I kind of just stopped and moved on. But one thing I did learn is with whatever business you do, I do, anyone does, you need an incredibly detailed plan of action, a plan for what you'll do in case something goes wrong, what you'll do in case something goes right. Just every aspect of the business planned out is so important. I also created my first Etsy store, and this Etsy store was me selling my photographs. So I like to think of myself as some sort of semi-professional photographer. I've been studying it for, 15 years now. And whenever I go away, I try and, capture a whole bunch of really nice photos, a bit like everyone else. And I created an Etsy store to sell my photos. And it's fair to say that totally and utterly failed. And the reason that failed was, well, I didn't get enough eyeballs on my photos. And one thing I've learned is when you are trying to sell photos or art of some sort, it is so important to have a name and to have a following, right? And there's plenty of Instagrammers that I follow who are photographers who sell out all of their pieces of work almost instantly. And that is more because they have hundreds of thousands of passionate fans. I was going in with 0 followers, 0 fans, just uploading my stuff to Etsy, not really trying to do anything else with it, trying to work out the ranking and get up higher in the listings, that kind of stuff. I just plonked it on Etsy and thought it would do well. Yeah, it didn't. It did really badly, and I think I may have got 1 sale from Etsy, just 1 sale. So I think it's fair to say that business was quite a failure. Now, just before starting my Amazon FBA business, which was a roaring success, I dabbled with Fiverr. Now, Fiverr is this online marketplace where you can offer a service for a fee, usually $5, but you can sell it for $10, $15, or $20. Now, whilst as a whole, Fiverr was quite successful and I made quite a lot of money with Fiverr, the way Fiverr works is you have a gig, so you can have a writing gig or a website review gig or a video editing gig. You can have a whole bunch of different gigs. So what failed with my Fiverr was a whole bunch of the gigs. I found that I was mainly making money from 2 of my gigs and I had about 10. And the other 8, it's like the 80-20 rule really, the other 8 were making basically no sales at all, maybe 1 sale here or there. So that element of the business failed, but as a whole, I was able to find 2 gigs that did really well, so Fiverr was quite successful. We then started our Amazon FBA business, and I know I said I wasn't going to talk about massive successes, but there was a few elements to this that absolutely failed, and I want to tell you about it because, well, more importantly, I want you to realize that everyone that has businesses, lots of elements of those businesses can fail, and it's kind of like what you do next that's important, right? That's the big deal here. So with Amazon, our first product was a roaring success, just a huge success. And about a year later, we brought out 2 new products, a mouth guard and an ankle brace. And this is where we went wrong. We thought this would be a great fit because our current product was a knee brace. So it was all kind of in the same area, the same niche, knee brace, mouth guard, ankle brace, it's all kind of like the same niche. And me saying that these 2 supporting products failed is an understatement. They didn't just fail, they cost us a fortune because we ordered in bulk from China, shipped it to the UK and to America, tried to sell them, which cost us a whole bunch of money. And then when we couldn't ship them, we had to lower the price, sell at cost price. And when we couldn't do that, we were just stuck with a whole bunch of dead inventory. And this actually taught us a really valuable lesson. This taught us that just because you have one successful product, or maybe even more than one successful product, it doesn't mean that if you find associating products, they are also going to be successful, right? So just because an iPhone is a successful product, it doesn't mean the Samsung will be a successful product. Each product needs to have its own independent research done for it to see if it has the potential to get all those sales. All in all, Amazon has done well, but we have had our fair share of failed products. Those 2 products are just ones that I'm mentioning now, but we have had, out of, I think it's the 20 something products that we've done, we have had a good fair few of them fail. However, the few that were successful really made a big difference. And then during the Amazon business, because it wasn't so hands-on, I had 2 similar ideas, and this was back to my photography. So I wanted to start a photography studio for portraits and for products. And the products came, the idea came from the Amazon business and actually taking photos of our own products. And this kind of did well, and the portraits, I had a few clients, but I very quickly realized that I hated dealing with clients, especially face to face. And this is kind of like why I had all these online businesses instead of all the offline businesses that I probably could have done. Now, the portrait part of it really failed. I think I had 1 or 2 clients for the portrait part of it. And it was really annoying because I had business card made, I had all of that done. And these were really cool business cards. That's kind of why I had them made. But that's besides the point. The product side of it, well, I had a whole bunch of clients who wanted photos of their products done. I had some really, really large orders. But the annoying thing was dealing with these clients who, were very picky and all of this. And it just, I wasn't enjoying it. I love photography. I really, really love photography, but this was draining and it was making me hate photography. So I wanted to stop almost immediately. It was like a few months in, just because I didn't want to get to a point where I just hated taking photos, because I didn't want to lose that aspect of my life, because I love that hobby. I absolutely love taking photos. And finally, my biggest ever fail. This cost us $10,000. Yes, you heard me right. This failure cost $10,000. So we have an Amazon FBA course, and we sell that course, and we try and help people start their own Amazon FBA business. And we thought we wanted to try and reach more people. So we found a coach who was going to be able to help us with advertising and outreach and social media and all that kind of stuff to reach a larger audience. That coach cost us $10,000, and my God, was this guy a flop. He was, I don't want to say a fake guru, because he is quite successful, but he is a terrible teacher. And you know what, I think I will call him a fake guru, because he might be successful in his own right, but he was terrible at teaching, and he didn't, all his promises that he said to us, they were completely forgotten, and he had all the dodgy tactics that you find in these dodgy people online. For example, he sold us over the phone. This was an ongoing process, but on the phone call, he said, I can give you $5,000 off, but you have to make a decision by the end of this phone call. And it's like, we only accept like 1 person every month, all these scarcity tactics. And we very later found out that he always sold it for $10,000. He never sold it for $15,000 on the phone or off the phone. And he was bringing in new clients pretty much every single day. So he was a bit of a scumbag. And eventually, when we realized this, we asked for our money back. We were very unhappy. We told him, this is not right. This is in fact somewhat illegal. And he completely ghosted us, deleted us off the groups, and ignored us. So yeah, that was our biggest ever failure. But that taught me one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned, and that is, whenever buying an online course, whenever you're buying an online course, do all the necessary research and never, ever fall for the scarcity tactics of a timer, or price going up or there's only 10 available. Because if people are doing that kind of scarcity, just move on, ignore them. You don't want to deal with those people. This was a huge lesson, and it really hit us hard at the time, because 10 grand is a lot of money, right? And that was a really big moment. I was like, I don't know, I felt like I'd been robbed. It was like a real, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like really deflated and like really small and nothing, that just someone was able to get away with stealing 10 grand from us and no one gave a shit. And it was really hard, and you can't really do anything about it. So yeah, those are pretty much all my failed businesses or failed things over the last 8 years. Now, I may have forgotten 1 or 2, but in all fairness, this was a lot more than I think I ever planned to say on YouTube. I don't know why, but I think it's really important for people to talk about their failures just as much as they're talking about their successes, so that everyone can get a real unfiltered, view of someone's life, and there's an annoying fly, and not just see all the successes and get that warped view of, oh my gosh, this person is so successful all the time. How does he do it? I need to learn from him. No, most people actually fail most of the time, and they have a few successes which really shape who they are. And like I said in my previous video where I talk about failure, I think a really important thing to remember is everyone fails in life at something, and it's what you do next that counts. If you want to take that failure, not learn anything from it, and just repeat it over and over again, you know, that's not the best thing. But if you learn from it, then you can turn a failure into a potential success, right, the next time. And anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked it. I hope if you lasted this long, please smash that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. I'm literally 4,000 subscribers away now from hitting 50,000. It's huge, and it would mean the world to me if you did that. And like I said at the beginning, if you want to see a part 2 where I talk about all my successes, then I would love to do that as well. So let me know in the comments down below and I'll get planning with that video. Thank you so much.